I was on the sorting floor at 4:41 a.m., running my handheld across a stack of certified pieces. Scan. Beep. Scan. Beep. Same rhythm I've had for 25 years. Then I got a different beep. Not the friendly one. The handheld flashed a warning that almost never shows up on clean mail. Tracking already used. I stared at it for half a second longer than I should have, because a certified number isn't supposed to live two lives. I turned the envelope over. Plain window. Court return address. Neat block letters that try to look calm while they ruin someone's week. Addressee, Elise Carter. Address, 219 Renfield Drive, Unit 8, St. Louis. And the barcode on the green label? My device insisted it had been delivered 7 months ago. Different zip, different route. That's when my shift got quiet inside my head. Paperwork doesn't just record a story. Sometimes it creates one. And when the barcode is wrong, the story can turn into a weapon. I pulled the tracking history on my handheld. The screen filled with what the system believed. Delivered. Signature captured. GPS scan point. Date, last August. Time, 9:17 a.m. Location, nowhere near Renfield Drive. If that number was already used, then this envelope wasn't a mistake. It was a move. Most people think certified mail means important. I think it means someone wants proof. Not, I told her. Not, she knew. Proof. I set the envelope aside in my tray and marked it for a manual check. Not to stop it. My job isn't to stop the mail. My job is to keep the record clean. No rumors, just records. Receipts, barcodes, signatures, timestamps. By 5:22 a.m., the trucks were loading. The building smelled like wet coats and black coffee. The city outside was still dark enough to hide secrets. I didn't know Elise Carter yet. I knew the label was lying. And when a label lies, somebody benefits lying. That afternoon, the weather broke, the way March does in Missouri. Cold rain turning streets into mirrors, and every stoplight reflecting like a warning sign. At 12:08 p.m., my root phone lit up. Unknown number. I answered the way I always answer. Frank? A woman's voice came through, controlled, careful, like she was holding her own panic by the throat. Hi, I'm sorry. I got told you cover Renfield Drive? I cover it, I said. My name is Elise Carter, she said. Did you deliver a certified letter for me? My boots stopped on the sidewalk because the name matched the envelope. I haven't delivered it, I said, but I saw it on the floor this morning. Elise exhaled hard, like the words cost her. They're taking my condo, she said. A simple sentence, heavy weight. I got an email from my HOA and then a voicemail from a lawyer's office. They said there's a foreclosure action. A hearing already happened, and She swallowed. I never got served. Foreclosure is paperwork violence. It doesn't kick the door in. It just changes who the door belongs to. Elise kept her voice steady, but the edges were shaking. They told me I was notified, she said. They said it was delivered, certified. They said there's proof. The paperwork said she was served. Her life said she wasn't. I don't guess, I verify. Elise, I said, do you have a case number? She read it off, fast. like she was afraid the number would disappear if she didn't say it out loud. 22 CV 11804, she said. County Court. Okay, I said. Do you live at 219 Renfield? Yes, she said. 2 years, same unit. And you didn't sign for anything from court? I asked. No, she said. Nothing. Not a letter, not a tag, nothing. I looked at my screen again, at the warning that started my morning. Elise's voice went quieter. Frank, I'm not behind like that, she said. I work, I pay, I'm not irresponsible. There it was. People don't just fear losing a home, they fear being labeled. Elise sounded like she'd been labeled her whole life. And I didn't know the label yet, but I could hear it waiting behind her words. I kept my voice flat. Elise, I said, the certified number on your letter shows as already used. Silence. Then, carefully, what does that mean? It means, I said, somebody attached a certified label to an envelope that doesn't belong to it. Elise's breath caught. So it's fake. It's wrong, I said. Wrong is enough to crack a record, but you need proof the court understands. I don't give legal advice, I give procedure. Listen, I said, take a photo of any notice you've received, timestamp it, save your voicemails, screenshot your HOA email, then go to the courthouse clerk window and ask for the proof of service. Elise said, I'm at work. You go on your break, I said, because default judgments don't care if you're busy. A beat. Then she whispered, they're doing this to embarrass me. I didn't ask who they were. She told me anyway. My brother, she said, and my mum. And just like that, the story clicked into its real shape. Because court cases don't start in court. They start at kitchen tables. Elise told me the first part like she'd rehearsed it 1,000 times in her head, but never said it to anyone who would actually take it seriously. 2 nights earlier, there was a family dinner. Not a celebration, an inspection. Her mother, Diane, invited everyone over because Elise's brother, Connor, had good news. Connor always had good news. Connor always had applause. Elise came straight from her shift at the imaging clinic, still smelled like sanitizer and stress. She brought a store-bought pie because she didn't have the energy to pretend she was domestic. When she walked in, her mother looked her up and down and said, loud enough for the room, "You look tired. Again. That job is never going to make you somebody." Connor laughed like it was a joke. "Is never going to make." Then Connor's wife, polished and cruel in a quiet way, said, "Don't worry, Elise. Not everyone's meant to own property long-term." Elise tried to smile, tried to keep it normal. Then her mum pointed at Elise's engagement ring. Simple, clean, nothing flashy. "So, when is Evan leaving?" her mother asked, like she was asking about the weather. Elise froze. Her mother shrugged. "I'm just being realistic." Connor leaned back in his chair, grinning. "Elise," he said, "you're a walking liability. Evan seems like a good guy. I just hope he knows what he's signing up for." That was the public humiliation. Not screaming, not throwing plates. Just a room full of people calmly agreeing that you're a failure. Elise didn't cry. She didn't fight. She didn't defend herself. She just got quiet. And the thing about quiet is, people mistake it for weakness. Sometimes, quiet is a decision. Elise left early, drove home in the rain, sat in her car for 10 minutes before going inside, because she couldn't stand the idea of walking into her own place feeling like it wasn't hers. And the next morning, she got the first voicemail. "Ms. Carter, this is regarding foreclosure proceedings." Foreclosure. On a condo Elise swore she was paying. On a condo Elise had worked overtime to keep. On a condo Elise bought after years of saving because she wanted one thing in her life that couldn't be taken away by someone else's mood. She told me, "Frank, I'm not even late." Then her voice shifted. "And Evan, he thinks I hid it." That's the stake that matters. Not just money, love, trust, the kind you build slowly, the kind that falls fast when a record says you lied. I said, "Elise, don't call your brother, don't call your mother, not yet." Elise laughed once, bitter. "I wasn't going to," she said. Good, because confrontation gives them time. Time lets them rewrite. I told her I'd print what I could print. And at 4:37 p.m., we met outside the post office annex, under a metal awning with rain tapping like impatient fingers. Elise was late by 2 minutes and apologized like she'd committed a crime. Early 30s, dark hair pulled back, no makeup. Winter coat that looked like it had been slept in. Eyes sharp with exhaustion. She held a folder like it was the only thing keeping her upright. "I'm not crazy," she said immediately, like she needed to say it before she said anything else. I nodded once. "I don't need you sane," I told her. "I need you documented." That made her blink. Then a small, strained smile, like someone hearing a language they've needed their whole life. I showed her my printouts, the certified number, the warning, the tracking history, showing it was delivered 7 months ago in a different zip. Elise stared at the page. "That's not my neighborhood," she said. "No," I said. "It's not your letter." Her fingers tightened on the paper. "But it's addressed to me," she said. "Yeah," I said, "which means someone wanted the court to believe you were served, using a barcode that already had a delivered life in the system." Elise swallowed. "Connor works in property management," she said quietly. "He knows how to file things. He knows how to make it look official." That was the hidden truth starting to surface. Not emotion, mechanics. Elise went to the courthouse clerk window the next morning. Fluorescent lights, people holding paper like oxygen, the quiet hum of consequences. She asked for the file on 22CV 11804. And when the clerk printed the proof of service form, Elise felt her stomach drop. Service method, certified mail. Status, delivered. Signature captured. Recipient, Elise Carter. Service address, 219 Renfield Drive, Unit 8. The file said she was notified. And attached to the proof of service was a photocopy of a certified label. Her certified label, the reused one. With the tracking number that already belonged to a different delivery months earlier. Elise called me from the courthouse hallway, voice tight. "Frank," she said, "it's in the file, the barcode. The court has it." "That's good," I said, "because now we can prove it's wrong." Elise didn't understand how that could be good. Not yet. Most people think evidence is a dramatic moment. Real evidence is boring. Real evidence is a mismatch line the judge can't ignore. Elise did not confront Connor. She went quiet. She worked. She documented. Over the next 3 weeks, Elise lived like she was in 2 jobs at once. Day job, imaging clinic, 12-hour shifts, bad coffee, feet that hurt for no reason. Second job, building a record. She pulled bank statements showing her mortgage payments clearing on time. She printed her payment confirmations. She requested her credit report and froze her credit. Because if someone can hijack a barcode, they can hijack a life. She called her mortgage servicer and asked for the loan history, documented. She discovered something that made her hands go cold. There was a second lien on her condo, a home equity line of credit, opened 9 months ago, not by her, in her name, with withdrawals made in chunks that looked like rent payments. Connor didn't just try to take her home, he tried to build a paper story that she deserved to lose it. That was the betrayal. Not family drama, a financial assault wearing polite clothes. Elise didn't scream. She didn't go to her mother. She didn't post anything online. She did what quiet people do when they finally decide they're done being the family's soft target. She let the facts speak. Evan, her fiancé, watched her build the file at their kitchen table. At first, he was distant, not angry, just cautious. Because love gets scared when it hears the word foreclosure. One night, he finally said it. "Why didn't you tell me you were struggling?" Elise didn't get defensive. She slid her folder across the table.
I wasn't struggling, she said. I was paying. This is what they did.
Evan read in silence for a long time. Then he looked up, face hard in a new way. "This is fraud," he said. Elise nodded. "I know," she said. Evan exhaled, slow. "Okay," he said. "Then we move like it's fraud, not like it's family." That's love, when it's real. Not flowers, not speeches. Procedure. The hearing was set for a Tuesday at 9:05 a.m., courtroom 3C. Elise wore the same winter coat, but her posture was different. Not confident. Precise. She wasn't there to beg. She was there to correct a record. Connor showed up with a suit that fit too well for someone who always needed help. He brought their mother. Diane wore her good coat, the one she saved for church and judgment. Connor smiled at Elise like he was doing her a favor by being there. Diane's eyes flicked over Elise and Evan and landed on the folder. She rolled her eyes like paperwork was beneath her. Because Diane didn't understand what Elise understood now. In the real world, paper beats opinion. The judge was a man in his late 50s, with a tired face and a voice that didn't waste time. He read silently, long enough to make everyone uncomfortable. That's a good sign. Silence means the paperwork is being evaluated, not the personalities. Connor's attorney stood first. Small time, smooth voice, practiced lines. "Your Honor, the defendant was properly served by certified mail. Default was entered. A second lien was discovered. Foreclosure proceedings began accordingly." The judge looked down, then up. "Ms. Carter," he said, "you claim improper service."
Yes, Your Honor,
Elise said. "Explain," the judge said. Elise didn't give him emotion. She gave him sequence.
Your Honor, the certified tracking number in the court file was already used 7 months before this alleged service, she said.
Connor's smile faltered, just a crack. Elise continued, voice steady, faltered. "I have USPS tracking history showing the barcode was delivered on a different date, in a different zip." I also have a carrier printout showing the handheld warning, tracking already used. The judge's eyes narrowed. That's not common, he said. No, Your Honor, Elise replied. It's not supposed to happen. Connor's attorney tried to pivot. Even if there was a clerical error, the judge raised a hand. Not clerical, he said. If the court relied on a barcode that belongs to a different mailing, that's not an error. That's misrepresentation. Then he looked at Connor. Mr. Cole, the judge said, what is your relationship to the defendant? Connor's face tightened. Brother, he said. The judge stared. And you filed this action? The judge asked. Connor's attorney started to speak. Connor spoke first, too fast. I was trying to protect the family, he said. She's unstable. She can't manage money. The judge cut him off. Stability is not decided by your opinion, he said. It's decided by evidence. Elise opened her folder and slid forward her payment history. Mortgage paid. On time. Clear. Then the second file, the HELOC documents. The signature on the HELOC paperwork wasn't a pen signature. It was a stylus image. Too smooth, too perfect. And attached to the HELOC opening documents was a certified delivery proof. Same problem. Same reused tracking number. Same court file barcode. Same lie. Elise's voice didn't rise, but the courtroom got colder. Your Honor, Elise said, the lien was opened without my consent. The service documents used to support these filings are tied to a certified number that the USPS system shows was already delivered months earlier. The judge leaned forward. Connor's attorney tried again, voice tight. Your Honor, she's making accusations. The judge didn't look at him. He looked at the barcode photocopy in the court file. Then he looked at Elise's USPS printout. Then he looked at Connor. Mr. Printout. Cole, he said, voice flat. Do you have any explanation for why the tracking number in your service proof is associated with a different delivery date and location? Connor opened his mouth. Nothing came out. Because you can talk your way out of a family argument. You can't talk your way out of a system log. The judge's pen moved. This court is setting aside default, he said. Enforcement is stayed. Foreclosure action is paused, pending a full evidentiary review. Connor's jaw tightened. The judge wasn't done. And due to apparent irregularities in service and lien documentation, he added, this matter is referred for investigation. That word landed like a stamp. Investigation. Outside the courtroom, Diane finally tried to make it emotional. Elise, she said sharply, how could you do this to your brother? Elise didn't flinch. She didn't yell. She didn't explain her childhood. She didn't list every time they called her a failure. She just said one sentence. I didn't do anything, Elise said. I corrected a record. Then she walked away. That's what boundaries look like when they're real. Not speeches, behavior. Over the next month, Elise did the cleanup work that nobody posts about. She filed disputes with the credit bureaus. She sent certified copies of the court stay to her employer's payroll, so nothing else could be pulled from her checks by accident. She worked with her lender's fraud department. She requested certified copies from the county recorder. And when the HELOC lien was finally marked as fraudulent and removed, she went to the recorder's office and watched the clerk stamp the update. A record corrected. That's the only kind of closure that lasts. Connor didn't apologize. People like Connor don't apologize. They rewrite. But the record wouldn't let him. 2 weeks later, Evan and Elise sat in a title company office for their refinance. Simple paperwork to lock the property down tighter. Elise signed with real ink, real ID, real witnesses. Elise signed with no stylus, no shortcuts. When they walked out, the rain had stopped.